Tweeter jacket.
Yeah, they've done the ceremony, so...
Yeah.
Matt actually lost his speech, and I think he impromptu prepared a better one than me. Try not to read from my paper too much. But for those of you who don't know me, I've known Mum for 22 years, 4 months, and 21 days, which happens to be 1,173 weeks, 8,208 days today. That's my whole life, for those of you who haven't realised yet. We'll start at the beginning. I've got a few sort of fun facts that you all might not know about Mum, and a few about Neil as well, so I'll enlighten you. At a young age, Mum had a canary called Pete, a border collie called Judy, and a toy doll called Tabitha. One of these actually turned up in our lives by living in a closet and survived 20 years. We'll let you figure out which one that was. Throughout her teenage years, it's safe to say that Mum was probably seen as a bit of a nerd. Someone who does well. She did well at school, wore glasses, had short hair, drove to uni in a bright orange Mini, and worked at her dad's ginger kiss factory. By today's standards, I think you'd be seen as a bit of a hipster. So, good work there, Mum. I came into this world in a bit of a hurry, through an emergency cesarean. But it's not also all that bad. It meant Mum didn't have to go through actual childbirth, and I came out with a perfectly round head. So Mum and Dad also used to tell us that when it was time for the emergency C, the doctor came in with a baseball bat and knocked her unconscious. We believed that for many years. What a lot of you won't know is that we had a bit of a party animal for a mum throughout our younger years. On the weekends and up to 3 or 4 times a week. We'd pack up these giant bags and head off to parties. We were very jealous, Matt and I, until we got old enough to realise what a Tupperware party actually was. Yeah, not jealous anymore. As a child, Mum's aspirations were to either become a zookeeper or possibly an air hostess. 2 drastically different careers. In reality, Mum's worked in a ginger kiss factory and an importing company, which gave us plenty of bags of chips from memory. She's worked as a nanny and a caregiver, as a greenkeeper and a gardener, as well as more recently co-owning her own art gallery with her friends. So, good job, Mum. I'm very proud of you. Bonus fun fact, there was a period of time when Matt and Dad and I all had dirt bikes, and we used to race around on the farm, occasionally heading out to Woodhill Forest. What a lot of people don't realise is that Mum also had a dirt bike for a period of time. An old green and a little bit of purple Kawasaki. So Mum's got a bit of spark in her. I don't remember too much about it. Maybe she wasn't going that fast.
At the back.
Yeah.
With the lunches?
Yeah. So that's all I've got to say about Mum. You've been awesome, as Matt said. You're the cornerstone of our lives, and always happy to come out here. We now come out every second Sunday for a big roast dinner. We always have to help with the dishes and that, but you know, it's totally worth it. And you've met a good man too, who you're marrying today. So I better say a few words about this old British guy up here. So the period of time I've known Neil for, that's I don't know, like 5 or 7 years or so. As I said, he's originally a Pom. He was in the Royal Navy for 10 years, where he tells us they had an expression: if it moves, salute it; if it doesn't, paint it. Oh my God. I don't know if that applies in the real world, but that's what he said.
I'll go with that one, Neil. I'll stick with that one. My version's different, so is yours.
A few versions, isn't it?
Yeah, sounds like it. Neil's Navy career and time carrying a rifle around Northern Ireland probably contributed to his current enjoyment of video games. I take great pleasure in watching him get through certain video games, often having to look down at the keyboard and see where he's at. It gives me a good insight to what I'll probably look like in 30 or 40 years' time. A quick word of warning. Anyone, if it starts raining today, and you're inside and playing some rainy day games like Trivial Pursuit or any other general knowledge-based game, prepare to be slaughtered by Neil. He's a goddamn encyclopedia, I don't know what other way to put it, especially when it comes to movies, books and music. So he's a great asset to have on any quiz team as well. So speaking of quizzes, got a little quiz for you all here. True or false? Neil once drank an entire bottle of white rum and walked home.
Oh, true.
You all guessed it. The answer is true, but I say he was probably stumbling home. True or false? Neil has once owned a llama.
True.
That's true. But it died. True or false? Neil once had a dream of being a rock star.
That's true.
True. He also dreamt that he was royalty swapped at birth. True or false? There's a softer side to Neil who writes poetry.
True.
He's also written a play entitled We Escaped the Grey Mundane. Alright, last question, multi-choice. Where else has Neil worked? As a KFC worker, at a fruit and veggie shop, or as a door-to-door insurance salesman?
KFC.
The answer is all of the above. Including the door-to-door insurance salesman. So if we total the scores of this quiz up here, the guests, there's me and Matt, and Neil won. Neil wins at any quiz. But now, in all seriousness, man, I couldn't have asked for a better man to be. Taught us that one thing I've learned from you is that the whiskey I drink is pretty shitty whiskey, and you shouldn't mix it with anything else. But I don't think I'll end up drinking it like you do. So yeah, in more recent years, as Mum and Neil have come together, as Matt said, they've travelled the world a lot. Put us through various photo albums. They after the first trip to Thailand, we saw about maybe 200 or 300 odd photos. They quickly realised putting together a best ofs album for both of us was the way to show us around the trip. So thanks for that, guys. But yeah, that brings me to the end. Thanks, guys, thanks to all you guys for coming and being here. Listen to me and Matt talk about our mum and new stepdad, and Sean is our new stepbrother. I don't know how I feel about that. Awesome, man. Yeah, so I'd just like to propose a toast. I'm going to grab mine there. So, to future little-known facts, career choices, and travels together. To Yvonne and Neil.
Yes.
Sweet.